The Phillies are built around stars. Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, Zach Wheeler, Christopher Sanchez, the players everyone expected to lead this team. But the surprising reason Philadelphia continues to look like a championship contender is someone almost nobody saw coming: Brandon Marsh. A player who was once viewed as a defense-first outfielder has transformed into one of Philadelphia's most important contributors. So what changed? The first reason Brandon Marsh has taken another step forward is because his entire approach at the plate has changed. This season, he's being far more aggressive. He's swinging at a career high 54% of pitches. For comparison, his career average was only 45.7%, and the MLB average is 47.3%. But here's what makes this interesting. While swinging at dramatically more pitches, his strikeout rate has dropped to a career low 24.9%. That tells us this isn't purely reckless aggression. Marsh just isn't swinging more, he's swinging at better pitches. His zone swing percentage has jumped to 71.2% compared to a 64% career average and a 67% MLB average. When pitchers come into the strike zone, he's ready to attack. And the biggest sign of his improved approach is what he's doing with the pitches hitters are supposed to crush. Marsh is swinging at those meatball pitches at a career high 80.7%. That's up from his career average of 73.9% and above the MLB average of 76.2%. When pitchers make mistake over the middle of the plate, he's not letting them get away with it. And that shows up in the quality of contact. Marsh doesn't rely on elite bat speed. His 71.5 mile an hour bat speed ranks in the 40th percentile, but he makes up for it by hitting pitches in the right part of the bat and at the right angle. His hard hit rate's in the 79th percentile among MLB hitters. His launch angle sweet spot percentage is in the 100th percentile, second best in baseball. Brandon Marsh didn't suddenly become a different hitter. He became a more aggressive version of the hitter he was always capable of being. He's attacking the pitches he was built to hit. The second reason Brandon Marsh has taken another step forward is because he has started solving the biggest questions surrounding his game. Could he hit left-handed pitching? For most of his career, the answer was no. From 2022 through 2025, Marsh hit just .202 against lefties with a .585 OPS. Because of that, the Phillies often treated him more of a platoon player. And honestly, it made sense. Teams are going to exploit that weakness. But there was another part of the equation. Marsh never really got a ton of opportunities to prove he could solve the lefties. The Phillies protected him against those matchups. Before this season, the highest number of at-bats against left-handed pitching in a single season he ever had was 96. This season, he's already reached 82 at-bats against lefties. Now, with Don Mattingly giving him more opportunities to stay in the lineup, Marsh has started to show that maybe that weakness wasn't permanent. This season, Marsh is hitting .273 against lefties with a .733 OPS. That's a huge difference from where he was. And the value of this improvement goes way beyond numbers. Now the Phillies don't have to remove him from the lineup every time they have the left-handed starter facing them. He gets more plate appearances and more chances to impact the game. And most importantly, he becomes much harder for opponents to game plan against. Because in October, teams are constantly searching for weaknesses. And Brandon Marsh is starting to erase one of the biggest ones in his game. The third reason Brandon Marsh has taken another step forward is because he has completely changed the way he handles fastballs. Earlier in his career, pitchers knew the fastball was a way to challenge Marsh. In 2025, fastballs made up 57% of the pitches he saw, and he hit just .247 against them with a .405 slugging percentage. Basically, pitchers could attack him with velocity and get results. But this season, that is flipped. Fastballs are still the pitch Marsh sees the most, making up nearly 53% of the pitches he faces, but now he's doing damage against them. His batting average against fastballs has jumped from .247 last season to .372 this year. His slugging percentage has also climbed from .405 to .552. Last season, he had 11 home runs. This season, he already has 13 home runs, and we're not even into the All-Star break. This is a massive change, and it connects deeply or directly to his new approach. Marsh is no longer waiting around for the perfect pitch. When pitchers challenge him with velocity, he's ready to go. If you want one number that summarizes the entire transformation, look at his fastball run value. Last season, Marsh had a run value of -3 against fastballs. This season, that number has jumped to +4. In other words, fastballs went from costing runs to creating runs for the Phillies. Another sign of fastball improvement is what's happening with two strikes. A put-away pitch is the pitch a pitcher uses to finish an at-bat. Last season, fastballs were the pitch that finished Marsh 23.4% of the time, more often than breaking balls or off-speed pitches. But this season, that number has dropped to 19.4%. The pitch pitchers relied on to finish him is no longer finishing the job. That might be the biggest sign of Brandon Marsh's breakout. The fastball went from being a weakness pitchers could attack to a pitch they have to be careful throwing. And that brings us to what makes Brandon Marsh's breakout even more valuable for the Phillies. Philadelphia is built around expensive contracts. Harper, Schwarber, Turner, Wheeler, Nola. Those players are supposed to carry the biggest weight because they're paid to be the foundation of the team. But championship teams are rarely built on stars alone. They also need players who provide surplus value. And that's exactly what Brandon Marsh has become. At just $5.2 million, Marsh is providing production well beyond his contract. He went from a player the Phillies had to protect in certain matchups to a player they can trust in almost any situation. The most dangerous teams don't just have the biggest names. They have players who outperform expectations. And right now, Brandon Marsh might be one of the best examples in all of baseball. Comment down below if you think the Braves or the Phillies will take the division. Braves got out to a big lead. The Phillies fired their manager, replaced him with Don Mattingly, and they've come on strong since. The Braves have kind of come back to them. They're starting pitching, struggling. Braves always have injuries, it seems like. Trade deadline's probably going to decide a lot this year between those two teams. I think Dave Dombrowski's going to go get an outfielder. I think the Braves have to get a starting pitcher. But just tell us what you think. Thanks.